everyone, welcome back. This is Paula's Imperfect Plans and I am Paula. On my channel I share my personal planning and budgeting journey as the sole planner and budgeter in my two-income household of 5. We live in the Midwest in our 30s trying to get our lives together. So we are closing out the budget from our June 30th paycheck because tomorrow we get paid again, and so it is time to close out our budget. We moved into July for the last part of our spending. And I went through these, I think I went through this whole week because I was like, it's all spending cash, which is kind of a really big deal for us. So then, went to, these are extra eating out, which are the color that I'm really trying to work on. And admittedly, they were both mine, and it was just, you know, one of those weeks. So I went to Four Queens and got ice cream. That was $5.68. So at the locker, I really didn't know where to do this. So we had purchased a half of a beef. So we paid the farmer for the cow, and then we had to pay to have it processed at the locker. I had saved some of the amounts of money that we got for the hogs that we raised and sold. So the remainder of that, because I didn't want to break further into that was like $3.50 or something. And the last $7.17 I just pulled out of our budget. So I just called it extra eating out. I mean, it wasn't really eating out, but it's extra food. Probably should just went under miscellaneous, but additional food on top of our grocery budget. $7.17 to the locker. And then with kid money back here, I had bought my 2 daughters flip-flops. I did not buy my son any flip-flops because he has a pair that fits and he does not like flip-flops. He went on to explain to me that the reason he doesn't like flip-flops is because of the thing between his toe, and he wanted slides like his dad. So I went and found some at Walmart. So I bought him some sandals. That I didn't have any cash allotted for that, so that just went under just kids, extra kids stuff. I had kind of an unexpected work meal, Pizza Ranch for $14.89. Ended up going to an open forum town hall public meeting with an old coworker of mine, and we went out for lunch after that meeting. And then, so this is today. So yesterday, I got ice cream again. I was in the town 3 times this past week where they have ice cream options, and that one was $4.80. And that is also extra eating out. It was me that did too much of that this paycheck. So I think that is all of the money that, all of the spending that we did in this 2-week pay period. Oops. So then going back to my expense tracker, just like to make, or my, I guess it's transaction log, like to make sure that I have everything in here. So I know where I'm at the end of my budget. So I'm going to subtract that $4.80. That leaves $3.38 left in our budget. Okay, so now I'm going to come into the budget portion and close this out for us today. Come back and see how we did. So some of these are already in here. I already knew my actual wage because was $1,112.96. My husband's ended up being $15.50 and 60 cents. I did take $155 out of the daycare sinking fund. I did transfer over my $330 for plasma in June. Our rollover was $53.83. All of that we kind of talked about going into. We've already talked about all of that. Additional income, I earned $3.80 on interest in my checking account. So $1,900 was cash from the sale of an old truck that we had in our yard, decided to get rid of. So that was additional money we weren't expecting. And then my mom pays for half of or approximately half of our dumpster servicing bill. And so she paid me for that. So that came in here. So I'm going to go ahead and add up what our actual income was. $1,112.96 plus $15.50, 160 plus 155 plus 330 plus 5383 plus 1900 plus 380 plus 41. Okay, so my total income is, for this, or inflow, is $5,147.19. I do know my fixed expenses were what I thought they were going to be, so they're $675. So I can go ahead and subtract $675 from that, leaving $4,472.19. So here we go into our variable spending. These are generally cash, but I did take a little bit less. I took so much out in cash, but the rest I had used, or mine, I guess. I bought stuff online, so it was a little bit less than my $60. So total spending cash was $119.65. I ended up spending $22. So I just took cash from these and kind of played around with the amounts. So I used cash for this stuff, but it was not necessarily on the allotted category. So $22.59 I spent on kids, $98.65 on eating out, $280 on groceries, $49 on beauty, $5 on haircuts, I spent $0 on household, $50 on drinks, and $12 in kids spending, and $0 in car washes. So I did the math on that already, and that is $436.89. No, $636.89. So $637 minus $636.89. Well, that was an 11-cent difference, but that's not what I needed to figure. So $4,472.19 minus $636.89 leaves $3,835.30 left to budget. Coming up to my sinking funds, we did put $1,000 in away for our property taxes, $100 for vehicle repairs, nothing for car gas, $20 for clothes, $20 for boots, $20 for birthdays, $20 for school, $2 for Google, $10 for holidays, and $5 for passports. So that's exactly what we thought it was going to be. That adds up to $1,197. So I subtract that from the $3,835.30 that I had left to budget, which leaves me with $2,638.30. So when I come down here, I had budgeted to spend $230 on our garage project because I was planning to spend the plasma minus $100 because I had this unexpected home repair that I thought was going to have to come out of that. Turns out my husband's paycheck, I under budgeted that by quite a bit. So the whole $330 was able to go and to the garage project from plasma, as well as the $1,900 from our truck sale. So $2,230 went towards our garage project. Our home repairs, there was the $99.41 that we budgeted plus the doorknob that I wasn't planning on having to buy. So that was $179.65. My work expense that I budgeted $35 for was $32.73. So extra miscellaneous stuff for my kids. So basically, stuff for my kids that was not originally in the cash was $17.69 for those shoes. I budgeted $20 for stickers and spent $18.23 for family fun. That was a cash envelope of $20. Some of my funds are kind of, anyway. I used $19 of that for family fun. $1 of that went towards eating out. And for the emergency fund, I put, since my husband's paycheck was larger than I planned, I put $50 right off the top into our emergency fund. And then extra food that was not budgeted for. Extra eating out is, or extra food, $7.17 at the locker, and me going to get ice cream 2 times is $17.65. And so let's add up what I had over here for our, doesn't need to be that, what I had over here for extra $22.30 plus $179.65 plus $32.73. I think I spent any on this, but yes. Plus $17.69 plus $18.23 plus 19 plus 50 plus 1765. Work meals, I spent $14.89. All right, so I found my error, actually two of them. One of the things that I put on a card came from like old sinking fund cash, not accounted for here. So I added that to the other. It was another $20 that I had rolled over from just kids spending to kids sinking fund. So that came back in cash. So that went from 41 to 61, bring our income up to 51.67 and 19 cents. What I did not change, I just pulled over fixed expenses at 675. That's not accurate because that was my fixed expenses before I decided to do the Mint Mobile. So my fixed expenses, once I did that math correctly, 320 plus 200 plus 155 plus 53.83 is 728 and 83 cents. So if I start with my income of 51.67 and 19 cents, I subtract 728.83. That leaves me with $4,438.36. Then if I subtract our variable at 636.89, 36 minus 636.89, that leaves me with $3,801.47. Okay, so then if I subtract the $11.97 that is sinking funds, 2604.47. And then if I come here and add up 2234, the garage project, 179.65 in home repairs, 32.73 in work, nothing in miscellaneous, 37.69. In kids, additional to the cash, $18.23 in stickers, $19 for family fun, $50 into the emergency fund, $17.65 on extra food, and $14.89 on work meals. That brings this total to $25.99.84. If I subtract that from the $26.04.47 that I have, that leaves me with $4.63 left over here. And according to this here, I have $3.38, which is a difference of $1.25, which probably came from like rounding up when I put cash back in. I'm going to put this, this today into the emergency fund. There's not much left over. I did just kind of spend a bunch at the end of this, but that is my plan, to put that into the emergency fund because that is what I committed to do. I will make that transfer tomorrow when I make my other transfers into my high yield savings account for my sinking funds and things. That's also where the emergency fund will go, but that is zeroing that budget out, and I will make that transfer tomorrow. So that is me closing this out. The areas, again, I went over a good amount in eating out, but I stayed within our cash budget. So I just took it from other cash categories, cash spending, not from sinking funds, but from, I used what I had left over in beauty and what I had left over, we just didn't do car washes, and yeah, household and car washes were what I took in addition to what I had left to do that big Mexican restaurant meal with my family that night. So that doesn't concern me as much as long as I stay within those cash budgeted categories. Obviously over in home repairs, not a fan, but it's life. I wasn't planning on getting him those sandals. I mean, I don't feel badly about it, but so that I was over a little bit there. That's plus $20 came in from Old Kids Sinking Fund to get some kids' clothes. I don't even know if I put that on. I might not have even put that on the calendar and talked about it. I ordered each of my girls like a package of underwear, and I feel like there was something else in there, so I took the $20 in the clothing sinking fund and $20 that I had like in rollover that just stayed in kids, not this 20 but 20 from the last paycheck, that I had rolled over kind of into a long-term kids sinking fund. And I took that $40 and used that because it was like $40.86, I think, was the Walmart bill once I got it all ordered. So I saved more money. Like I said, I ended up way under budgeting his income. So basically I was $150 off. 50 of that went right into the emergency fund, and the other 100 essentially covered that planned home repair. So we were over budget on home repairs, a little bit on kids, $17 in extra food, and $14 in work meals that I wasn't budgeting. So overall, that's not bad, and we'll take it, and excited to go into a new pay period tomorrow. So until my cash stuffing tomorrow, friends, see you next time. Bye.